Welcome to the Spring Facility Forum. On behalf of Dr. Moore, I want to thank everyone for coming today, and also special thanks to Jose, Chris, and his team. As always, we would like to ask that you hold your questions to the end of the presentation. And when you have questions, please use the Q&A to submit your questions. Thank you very much. And with that, I will pass it over to Jose.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Nunez. I am the Vice Chancellor for Facilities Planning and Operations here at the San Mateo County Community College District. I want to thank President Moore, Vice President Gaciano, and the rest of the executive team at Kenyatta College for allowing me and my team to come and provide you a brief overview of the myriad of construction projects that are happening on your specific campus. This is the agenda that we'll be following. I'm going to have each of the project managers present their specific projects, and this is basically the order. You have the campus logistics plan by Jack Herbert, who's with Furniture Management and Consulting as a construction manager, the director of construction services, actually. Sajid Suleiman will be presenting Building 1 Kinesiology and Wellness. Thomas Lowe, which is a district project manager, will provide an overview on Building 13 Modernization. Pechka will review Building 22 swing space / permanent relocation of some programs. And then finally, some minor modifications that are going to happen in Building 9. That'll be followed by Marie Mejia. So with that, please hold all questions until the end of the presentations, and anything that was just articulated a moment ago, please put it in the Q&A. So with that, next slide, Jack Herbert, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm going to show an overview of the Kenyatta campus as it exists currently and projected into the construction coming next year. So as has been going on for quite a long time now, Building 1 Kinesiology and Wellness is nearly complete. All roadway work associated with that building is complete. And we are looking at substantially completing the building in March. So we're real close now. The impacts are down to a minimal. There's fencing around the entries, but we'll soon to turn that over. In the lot 6, the construction trailers are gone. And so the repair work, putting that lot back together.
Jack, could you put your cursor over the project area?
Yeah, sure. So this is where the construction trailers were. Those trailers are now gone and that area is being repaved. And this area in the black, those were an additional 408 parking spaces that were added to the old lot 6. It was expanded to the south. So the construction fencing, again, is literally just around the building, and that will be out in a couple of weeks. The campus roadway patterns in general are per public safety's latest iteration, which is to have the public safety checkpoint down at the Farm Hill Boulevard entry. It used to be up in lot or up near the bus stop. And so once you pass through that, the rest of the roads are all open as they normally would be, with the exception of the west entry loop is still closed and will continue to be closed for the foreseeable future. So Building 1 is wrapping up. Those impacts will be gone. Also under construction now is the Building 22 modernization. And that work is expected to be complete April, May. So it's coming quickly. And so currently this area is fenced, and lot 9 and lot, I guess this is 10, are being used by the construction workers there. So that will be done in spring. And then we're looking forward to the next impacts, which would be, and Thomas will talk about in more detail, the modernization of Building 13. And Building 13 is kind of landlocked in the center of campus. We'll be required to keep the fire lane open. So we'll be, working with the campus and the cabinet to make sure we can identify adequate layout area for them to conduct their work. It's a fairly extensive modernization, including new elevators. And so those impacts will be defined in more detail as we get closer to selecting an architect. So pretty much from now, the campus is almost back to normal. We've got a lot of activity as the baseball players are back in the field and the soccer teams. So there's a lot of perimeter parking as people are making their way into the fields. We have a little upcoming work. We're dropping this Team House 3 adjacent to the parking lot next to the baseball field. And that is anticipated to be installed next month. But that is pretty much from spring 2021 onwards for the next year. That's what we anticipate.
Thank you, Jack, for that update. Next slide, please. Kenyatta Kinesiology, Sajid Suleiman, could you provide an overview, please?
Yes, thank you, Jack. And my name is Sajid Suleiman with Swinnerton Management, construction manager for the Kenyatta Building 1 project. So like Jack mentioned, in terms of big picture, it is aiming towards completion substantially by March. Right now, the building and the project is in what we call the final completion correction commissioning phase, where we are looking at all the final finishes. All furniture pieces are moving into the building, and we are tweaking, adjusting all the systems within the building, cleaning up the building, and making sure all the graphics and other additional pieces are getting installed. So that's kind of the big picture. So upon March, once we reach substantial completion towards March, the building will go into what's called the final completion phase, when our facilities teams will get trained in the systems that they will be managing and using. And some of our faculty members will also get part of the training in some of the equipment that has gone into the building, such as the pool systems, scoreboards, gym scoreboards, and things like that. So that's kind of the big picture, March and April being the timelines that we are looking at. Like Jack mentioned, we are also placing a new team house by the fields. That's team house number 3, and that's also tracking closely with the building schedule and timeline. We will have the team house done and ready for use in April. So we are looking down from the south west corner onto the activated roof side. It's not fully done yet. There will be a few more graphics pieces to be applied. There will be a Kenyatta College logo up there. We are looking at the tracks that go around the 3 courts, and that's the top left picture you're looking at. And it's getting striped as we speak, and that portion of the work is getting wrapped up. The west side elevation of the building is what you looked at on the south or the lower picture. Jack, next slide, please. We are looking at the pools. They are filled. Right now, as we speak, the pools are getting final approval by the health department. The mechanical side, heating side of the pools, as well as the chemical treatment side of the pools, are pretty much in place. Again, we need to go through the process, make sure it's all approved by the authorities that have jurisdiction over these systems. Inside the building, again, you can see it's exciting to look at beautiful spaces, beautiful finishes. And you're looking at the main spine of the building from level 2 down to level 1. So that's that's another view of a drone view of the building as it stands right now. Inside, again, you're looking at the gym. As you can see, the finishes are in place. The Colts logos, as well as bleachers, are in place and functional. And building, like I said, is getting through final clean out. District's furniture pieces and equipment are going in as we speak, so it's all coming together. Like I mentioned, these are beautiful spaces that we are inheriting in. Kenyatta Athletics Hall of Fame installation is in place. You have all the different programs represented on the Hall of Fame. You also have a touch screen. That's what you see there, and that touch screen is getting programmed too. And we are looking at one of our room spaces. That's the general exercise room. Again, the finishes are all in place. Like I mentioned earlier, the systems are getting tweaked. That's why some of the tiles are not placed back yet. Otherwise, it's all getting placed and getting close to use. A couple of other classrooms, the Pilates, and general fitness, mind body fitness, as well as general fitness is what we are looking at. The graphics pieces all around the building that gives its identity as the CAT's home building. They are all going in as we speak. You're looking at the bedroom, the locker room, and I believe the top right is one of the conference rooms where the graphics pieces are getting installed, and student restroom pieces. Again, these were all closely worked out. Again, I appreciate all the help that we received from Matt Lee and the CAT team to refine all these details that you are seeing on these photos. Next slide, Jack. The pools, like I mentioned, they are filled, functional, and we are getting approval this week. And you are looking at level 2 fitness area, or looking towards the south of the building, towards the fitness areas on that picture. And once again, I appreciate all the help that we received as we go through the remaining portion of our Building 1 project. Thanks again, Jack.
So now for Kenyatta Building 13 Modernization, I'd like to introduce Thomas Lowe, District Project Manager. Thomas.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Thomas Lowe. For Kenyatta Building 13 Modernization projects, for the budgets, we have a little bit over $26 million, which a portion of it came from the state, close to $9.4 million, and the rest of the budget is from Measure H bond programs, is close to $16.8 million. For this project scope, we are going to renovate this existing 51 years old with 31,600 approximate square footage of the building to make it up to the building, the code at the restrooms, corridors, and also we upgrade the HVAC systems. On these improvements, we are going to rebuild 2 interior design labs, 6 computer labs, and 12 general classrooms, including faculty offices with dean suite, restrooms finishes with all the toilet accessories, toilet partitions, make it to ADA compliance. We are going to build a nursing rooms and also a brand new elevators on the south side of the buildings. On the schedules, the construction documents was approved by the Division of State Architects on January 27th. As of now, the project is at the State Chancellor Office, Departments of Finance to review the construction budgets and giving us authorizations to bid it out this project. If everything successfully approved, we plan to start our bidding process on April to June. And the successful responsive bidders will send it to the Board of Trustees on July to award the contract. And the physical construction will start on August and finish by November 2022. So this is the first floor of the building 13. For this, on the first floor, we are going to build out the interior design labs and the libraries, computer labs, general classrooms, and closest office space, and faculty's offices. And on these 2 pictures, you can see the image of the future constructions. After the future constructions will approximately looks like that styles. Second floor.
Hey, Thomas, before you go up there, can you show where the new elevator is going to be, or maybe Jack, you with the pointer?
On the right side that you can see on the right side, this is the south side of the building. That is the new elevators from the first floor all the way to the 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor, we have general classrooms, faculty office, dean suite, and the break rooms. On the 2nd floor, you can see a little bit different than the existing buildings. On the existing buildings, we have balconies on the east and the west side of the building. But after these constructions, we are going to push the rooms out to the edge and build a brand new corridors in between 2 rows of the classrooms. On these improvements, we are going to gain more natural sunlight on the inside the classrooms and create more indoor usable space. And also we can provide more opportunity to have the student and the faculty to collaborate, and also have more students to hang out in the new circulation space. And on the right side of this picture, basically is the styles of the classrooms. And the third floor, we are going to do the same as the second floor. We are going to build a corridor in the middle of the classrooms and push those classrooms to the edge of the building on east and west side. On the third floor, we have the distant learning rooms with the workrooms. We have a flexible computer labs. And also on these classrooms, we have a movable partition walls. If we need it, we can convert this into 2 large classrooms. And we have a couple of the breakout rooms in the classrooms and also faculty's offices. And the image on the right side top corner here is the renovated new style of the classrooms looks like. And this is what is our plans on building 13 modernization project. And thank you for all the persons who help us on the design on these projects.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce Apechka with Swinnerton Management and Consulting. She is actually the construction manager running Kenyatta Building 22. Apechka.
Thank you, Jose. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Apeksha Gajar. This is, and I'm a construction manager, as Jose mentioned, with Swinnerton, and I'm managing the design and construction of Building 22 Swing Space project. In brief, we're an 11,870 gross square foot building, and we are we are in 11,870 gross square foot building, and we'll be housing the new offices, the new permanent offices for the Public Safety Department, as well as the Education and Human Development Department and Digital Arts and Animation. Digital Arts and Animation specifically will be having 3 classrooms dedicated to their students, and Education and Human Development will be having a dedicated classroom as well. And as well as offices. We will also be updating the existing restroom facilities for accessibility. And we'll also be updating the adjacent parking lot for accessibility. The project is currently in construction. We started construction last November, and we are expected to complete it by end of April. Next slide, please. This is the general layout of our new spaces. Towards the west side of the building is, rather southwest side of the building is the Public Safety Department. The northwest side is the new entrance for our Education, Human Development, as well as the Digital Arts and Animation spaces. It's surrounded by our faculty offices as well as meeting areas. And towards the east side of the building are the 4 classrooms that I just mentioned, 3 of which are digital arts, and 1 on the south side is for Education and Human Development. And they also have a little bit of a meeting and workshop area. Just a few photographs to show what's going on right now. The first photograph you see towards the left we're doing some minor roof work in relation to our HVAC, the new HVAC systems going in. A few photographs for the Public Safety Department, or rather how it's going to look like. What you're looking on the first photograph is our captain's office towards the left, and then the meeting space and their meeting room straight ahead. as you enter the public safety, there'll be a slight lobby / reception area. And then the last photograph you see here is the officers area for public safety. And then beyond that are the men's and women's locker rooms. Next slide, thanks. Again, can you go back one slide? So that's one of the classrooms for education and human development, again in construction. And apologize for the photo on the right, but there isn't much space in this building, as you'll see. This is going to be what's the lobby for the education and human development, as well as the digital arts and animation, and surrounding it, all the framing that you see, those are going to be offices. Next slide, please. And these are two of the classrooms for digital arts and animation. Again, in construction right now. Next slide, please. Right, and again, thank you all for helping us get this building to where it is right now. And we'll hopefully deliver a building that you'll all be happy with once we're done with construction. So thank you all.
Okay, now I'd like to turn it over to Marie Mejia, District Project Manager, to give you a brief overview on some minor modifications that are going to happen in Building 9. Ms. Mejia, please.
Thanks, Jose. Hi, everyone. So there's a lot of domino moves that's going to happen in Building 9. On the left is financial aid. There will be a small change behind the counter. Currently, there's 2 workstations. We will replace the workstations with a glass office for 2 techs. And also it's glass so they can assist the reception area if they need assistance. On the right is the multicultural and international area. It's room 162 and 163. In 163, we'll have 2 private offices, a reception station, and another workstation or storage behind the reception. These offices will be relocated since Building 13 is going in construction. We're trying to reuse all of the newer furniture in Building 13. So the bottom right photo, there's 2 offices that we will be relocating, the glass offices. In the Multicultural Center, there will be a glass office, a brand new glass office with, it's a shared office. And there's also going to be a meditation area, reception station, an area in the center for tutoring. And on the right, it'll be a lounge with a printing station and a microwave and a small refrigerator. Next slide, please. CWA will be relocating from Building 13 to the current VROC, which is 209 and 209A. They're also taking over 210. They'll have 2 offices, a desk in the main area, and a small conference area and a computer station. On the right, VROC is moving to the existing PSD station. They will be taking over, there's an office, 153 will be split into 2, and 151 will be a main lounge with 2 computer stations and a reception station. Next slide, please. And Dream Center will be moving to the current transfer center, 115 and 118. They'll have a loungy space, a computer station, and 118 will be turned into a conference room. Transfer and University Center space will be moving to 106 with 5 private offices, an open area for students to collaborate or workshops. And we'll be placing new glass offices similar to the ones in the photo. The top right photo is a Promise Scholar office and Skyline, and the bottom right is a CSM Promise Scholar office. And I think that's it. I'm going to turn it back to Jose for any questions.
Okay, so with that, we do have some questions. Let me boot up my, and then I'll open it up, the questions that we received. Hold on a second. Okay, for our college leadership, what groups do you see as stakeholders that should be at the table to discuss uses for the spaces that were vacated when Building 23 was built? Graciano, would you like to take that?
Sure, thank you, Jose. Well, as Thomas mentioned in his presentation a few moments ago, in regards to Building 13, we're expecting the construction to begin in August 21, and with hopefully an ending date of November 22nd. So November 2022 is when we anticipate the construction to end. So 12 months prior to that, we will most likely be reconvening the space planning group. And in that group, the deans, the vice presidents, faculty, and classified leadership will be working together to ensure that that the stakeholders who will be taking over spaces in that building will be properly represented. So hopefully that clarifies that question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that response. And moving along, it's similar to what's happening here. And the question is as follows: what is the timeline for planning for secondary effects on buildings 16 and 18? Are there remaining bond funds to renovate these spaces? Given the funding, how should we set our expectations in regards to these spaces? So let me answer the second question first. Are there remaining bond funds to renovate this space? Negative. If you recall, buildings 16 and 18 were modernized, I dare say about 10 years ago or so. And so the cabinetry in there, the flooring, it's in good condition, and it's just a question of going in there. And once the final determination of what the use is per the college leadership, then we can go in there and do some minor painting and tweaking. But the lighting, the flooring, the cabinetry, it's all in really, really, really good shape. Given the funding, how should we set our expectations in regards to these spaces? I think I just articulated that. Next question from Candice Nance. What alterations will be made to Building 13 construction plans to improve building ventilation system? Thomas, you want to answer that, please?
Yeah,
hold up, excuse me. Specifically, have you changed plans to allow windows to open for fresh air ventilation instead of keeping them permanently shut down due to energy conservation reasons? Thomas?
So a couple of years ago, for Building 13, we replaced 2 existing air handler units, and we also extend the existing true water pipes to all the ways from the campus all the way to the Building 13 to provide better cooling systems and the HVAC system in the buildings. Now for these projects, we are going to renovate every single existing ductworks to provide the better air qualities, better comfort levels, and the better air filtrations inside the buildings. So on the air side, it should be way better than before. Talking about the windows. So the windows in the building is already been designed for closings with the storefront windows, and it was submitted to the state, and the California building code has no direction for us to change the design. And the building already been reviewed by DSAs and also the engineers, and is really combined with all the Title 24 energy calculation. So we are not going to change the fresh air requirements, and the engineering already proved that has described this building have certain level of fresh air and the filtration. So this building that we are not going to, we are going to already improve the air qualities of the HVAC system inside the buildings. And also we are not going to change to any operable windows. But due to the COVID-19, it's like a one-time deal. Hopefully it will not last forever. So, and also we also have fires around us. So actually the operable windows may not be helping on this case.
Yeah, so Thomas, this is Jose. Let me go ahead and chime in, and maybe Karen Pinkham might want to as well. So bottom line, there's not going to be operable windows in this due to Title 24 energy requirements, as Thomas just articulated. But we have conflicting problems here. One, that the CDC recommends 100% outside air because of COVID conditions, which, that can be done through Karen Pinkham and her team in terms of programming the building HVAC system. But the conflicting issue is here that they want 100% outside air for COVID, but then when you have the fire season come in, you don't want to have 100% outside air coming in because of the smoke particulates and what have you. So in here we have, conflicting challenges. But with that said, Karen Pinkham and her engineering teams, once the building is turned over to them, they'll be able to control the building ventilation system accordingly. Next question. Hopefully that answers it. If not, please chime in on the Q&A again. Next question is, each construction project seems to add junk that is left in corners or at bottom of hills on our beautiful campus. Who will and when will the campus be cleaned up, all the mounds of construction material all around campus, including at the bottom of every hill? Well, I will say that once a construction project is completed, that the general contractor, whether it's building 9, building 22, Kenyatta 1, or even the Kenyatta Vista projects, it is the responsibility of the general contractor to go ahead and clean up all of the debris that's left over as part of the construction project. In terms of ongoing operations, Karen Pinkham and her grounds teams are responsible for, basically maintaining the campus landscape and making sure it looks pretty and things like that. Unfortunately, we're not just Kenyatta, but at CSM and Skyline, we're on hilltop campuses and we're subject to a lot of wind. And needless to say, paper and debris from the parking lots and from trench do get flown throughout campus. But again, the excellent facilities team led by Karen Pinkham and John Cuevas Elite Grounds, it's part of their responsibility to take care of that. Now, I want to say,
I'm sorry, Jose. In addition, at Kenyatta, we've actually taken some of our excess soil and we intend to use it at CSM for the new water tank project.
thank you.
So that is there, it is stored, so we don't have to dispose of it, only to purchase it later. So it will be migrating over there later this year.
Thank you for that. Megan, do I have any other questions in the Q&A?
Yes, we have a few in the Q&A. The first one is, what is the timeline for the Skyline College Ridge occupancy?
Chris, do you happen to have that offhand? I want to say it's 15 months from now. That was just awarded by the Board of Trustees 2 weeks ago. We're under contract or currently getting under contract now with the contractor, but I forget offhand. Chris, do you happen to have that response?
Yeah, I think they're scheduled for completion in April of 2022. I would expect that occupancy could start in May of 2022.
Yeah, thank you. Megan?
Another question, more for the instructional side of the house. What curriculum will be added for CAD students with the new facilities?
I'm trying to unmute. I'm trying so hard to unmute myself. So CAD has done a Herculean effort at increasing their division's programming through the curriculum process. And so there will be many new classes added, such as, the Pilates courses and spin classes and all of their and dance courses, and all of these things have been already gone through the curriculum process and they're up to date. So the CAD is looking really great in terms of on the curriculum side of the house. Thank you, Rosalind, for that question.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Another question, can we see the Building 9 Multicultural Center rendering again? And also, since there are very little windows in that space, what measures are being taken for proper air circulation once we are back on campus and the space is being used?
Marie, you want to take that on?
Yes, that's the correct slide, Jack. So right now the scope of work is new paint, carpet, and furniture will be relocated. And if the furniture in building 13 will not work, we'll purchase a couple of pieces. We are not working on the HVAC. I'm not aware of any issues. Karen, can you speak to any building air quality in building 9?
Thanks, Marie, and thanks for the question. We are within our system, like Jose talked about, even with building 13, we are able to bring 100% outside air into the building, which we flush the buildings before and after occupancy. And we have also upgraded our filters on the campus as well, since you guys have been gone.
Okay, Megan, any other questions, please?
Yep, we have one more question. With many changes to building 9, is there anything being done to the Welcome Center area to add a heightened desk area?
I have no knowledge of that. Marie?
No, it is not included in the reconfig building 9 project, but that's probably, I will turn it to Michelle Rodovsky if there are any thoughts on putting plexiglass in the Welcome Center.
So,
Michelle, are you there? Okay, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Workspace assessment and such?
Correct. So every time we have folks returning back to campus, we go through a process, a workspace assessment process that is actually quite robust and quite extensive, where the program managers of the area, the deans, and the facilities managers get together and review the spaces, how they're used, occupancy, cleaning strategies, ventilation strategies, etc. And part of that process is to assess in transactional spaces whether or not we need to install plexiglass to help protect our employees. So if that's part of the question, that process will happen on the onset of return to that program. If it's removing space furniture now and putting in a different type of furniture, that's a different conversation.
Thank
Megan?
you. That is the last question right now. We invite everyone to submit your questions in the Q&A box, which is located at the bottom of your Zoom screen.
Okay, I see that there's no open questions, President Moore. If there's nothing further, myself and my team, we're more than willing to answer any particular questions. Thank you so much for you and the executive team to allow me and my team to brief the staff faculty here at the college.
Thank you, Jose Nunez, and thank you to the team. If there are no more questions, but I do want to allow folks to ask additional questions if they choose. We also had questions in advance. If there are no more questions, we can definitely be prepared to kind of close out, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank Jose, Chris, Karen, the entire facilities team for providing us with this informed information. As a reminder too, Chris and the team also visits division meetings as well to make sure that those individuals who cannot get to a forum also have that opportunity to ask their questions via virtual at division meetings. Also a shout out to Jack Herbert and the Swinnerton team for their continued support and assistance in this process. I want to thank everybody for their resilience and for their patience. I do see that we have one final question that just popped up in the Q&A, so I'm going to turn it back over to Megan.
The question is, will there be a recording? Will this recording be posted? The answer is yes. We will record it and post it on our college YouTube page, and the link will be sent in the weekly update blast on Friday.
Okay, so with that said, President Moore, the facilities team, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
Stay safe.